Snoop Dogg is having a really terrible day. He's being called out yet again by somebody really close to him for bad business. And at this point, we got to start having a really hard conversation about Snoop.
Hey, yo, Snoop, you my relative. I talked to Julian. I talked to Daz. I talked to Corrupt. I talked to everybody, and everybody's telling me you turned into the new Suge.
It's been an absolute disaster ever since Snoop Dogg acquired Death Row. Daz Dillinger has been somebody who's been publicly spoken out against Snoop Dogg for trying to jerk him out of some publishing rights and trying to jerk him and do bad business. But Daz has pretty much been the only one, right, outside of Nate Dogg's son, who has came forward and levied accusations of bad business against Snoop Dogg. However, there are a lot of people behind the scenes who aren't willing to go public, who is calling out Snoop Dogg. And Ray J is claiming he spoke to one of them. But before we get to what Ray J has to say, let me just remind you guys what Daz Dillinger had to say about Snoop Dogg.
Okay, so you own everything. So that's all your stuff. Now, you were saying something about the paw. Now, what are you talking about with the paw?
Well, like I was saying, the paw is trademarked. Like I told Snoop, you got rejected and I got accepted. You know what I'm saying? So that was the moneymaker. The paw is like the Apple sign, like I said before. And like I said, they tried to go behind my back and trademark all my work and then flung my face like, yeah, nigga, we got it, nigga. That's all we wanted, nigga. They're finna sell everything for $1 billion to Universal. You know what I mean? But don't be selling my shit.
Now, what do you mean by selling? He said he was going to sell it, or what? They're selling Death Row, the new Death Row that just came?
Snoop, everything Snoop involved with, he gonna sell all that shit for $1 billion. You know, cashing out for their catalog. And then he sell that shit and he just start over and make new music. You know, it's easy. You sell what you got. You know what I'm saying? And you got all that money. I mean, I don't be counting it, but I got my own pocket. You know what I mean?
Now, how many albums is over there? At Death Row? Because you were saying that it was the Doggy Style, and there was two other ones you was talking about.
Yeah, you know the shit I got on the wall right here. You know what I'm saying? The Chronic is already going back to Dr. Dre. Tupac took all his greatest hits album, all his albums, all his shit back over to Amaru. So what is left on Death Row? But I'm coming to get my shit. So what's gonna be left on Death Row? So he got to make new catalog, and that's where all the new cats come in at. You know what I'm saying? Making new content.
I see you ain't got shit to do but hate on me, huh? In a minute, I'm gonna f you up, cuz, on some real shit. Not physically, but business-wise. Cause you broke as a mother right now, so I'm gonna f you up in a minute, cuz. Leave me alone. Leave me the f alone. You didn't put that on the internet. Leave me alone, cuz. I'm gonna f you up. Leave me alone.
Snoop's response to me was not, the most promising response. If somebody is coming out and accusing you of doing bad business and jerking them, I feel like an accurate response would be comment online, showing the proof that you didn't do bad business, showing, that everything you're doing is falling right in line, how you're going out of your way to be a charitable ball. I feel like that's what a good response should be. I'm going to F you up isn't really a good response. Now, Ray J will say, after speaking to people behind the scenes, that people have been very disappointed in how Snoop Dogg is running Death Row. Because when Snoop got it from, well, not from Suge, because Death Row was already up. Snoop got Death Row. Suge ain't owned Death Row by the time Snoop got it. But when Snoop got Death Row, people felt a sigh of relief. Daz Dillinger and others felt Snoop is finally about to do right by us, what we know like Suge would have never done. And according to them, man, like what they thought would be a complete 180 from the Suge era has turned out to be the new Suge era.
I don't want to believe that, Snoop. I don't want to believe that you turned into the new Suge. I want to believe that you've given everybody what they deserved. And everything that they ever didn't get, you taking over Death Row was supposed to be the one to be the savior to give everybody what they needed. Word on the street is that you haven't given anybody nothing. And you became the new Suge.
My dad once told me, everybody hates being oppressed, nobody hates oppression. And that has stuck with me for life. Think about it for a second. Everybody hates being oppressed, nobody hates oppression. That's because we want to be the ones doing the oppressing. See, Snoop, it was probably easy for Snoop to criticize Suge and criticize the label and criticize how they do business and their splits and thought it was unfair when it was happening to him. Once he's in a position now, man, it's probably hard to let go of that extra money, let go of that extra percentage, give people back their rights. Cause you looking at how easy it is to line your pockets up, you like, man, man, this ain't bad. And now you start talking, right? Like how the label's been talking for years. Man, listen, man, I bought it for this much. If I give you back this, I won't be able to recoup this. Now you start talking how the labels be talking. But at first you thought the labels was talking hogwash until you got in their position. And now you realize this is the music business. You get in this to make money, not to give back everything.
I don't want to believe that, Snoop. I want you to respond, and I want you to tell me that you're not the new Suge. I want you to tell me that you gave everybody all the publishing and all the rights and everything that they deserved. Everybody from our cousin Daz to, Julian, to whoever else is talking shit, right? I don't give a fuck about nobody else but that's related to us. I said two that is in our bloodline, and you're a great person. I love you. Can you please tell everybody that I'm tripping and that you have not become Suge Knight? Because if you have, then we'll deal with that and we'll figure it out. But everybody's feelings are hurt. Nobody feels like you have come through for them. Everybody from the LBC to Carson to Compton to Los Angeles all the way up to Santa Clarita. But you've been keeping all the money and you're super rich.
I would almost prefer for Snoop Dogg to come out and say, listen, man, I'm the label owner. I bought this label for millions of dollars. I'm going to turn over a profit before I bother myself with trying to turn over all the assets to you guys. Yo, if the label got assets and the label got publishing and rights for the music, this is how the label makes money, is through the music, right? So if I just give it all back to you guys, we make the, come out and say that. But when you present yourself, and this is what a lot of us make a mistake doing, we present ourselves as if we're like the black savior. We present ourselves as if we're like the black messiah, right? We criticize them folks for their business practices, and we promise we can do better, and then we get in position and we realize it's kind of hard to turn over a profit if you're not like exploiting, right? It's kind of hard to hoard wealth and enrich yourself if you're not exploiting somebody. In the case of Snoop Dogg, right, the people he now unfortunately have to exploit are the people that he was like, or his coworkers and his peers, are people who he was just an artist with, right? He was under label. These were his peers. These were his label mates. Now he's their boss. And unfortunately, if you spend millions of dollars on his label, you can't really turn over a profit without exploitation, right? And I'll be real, Ray J coming out now kind of convinced me that maybe, just maybe, all right, Nate Dogg's brother and his mama was telling the truth. Y'all remember when Nate Dogg's son did that interview where he said his his grandmama told him, Nate Dogg's mama told him that like Snoop Dogg came over and and took certain things from the house, but then when they called Snoop and asked Snoop, Snoop denied it.
There is something going on as a feud right now, and I'll be the one to say it because it's my family, and it's like, and I'm who I am, and some shit went down at a show, you feel me, recently, and it's like, I feel comfortable sharing and speaking on it. But supposedly Snoop, got the okay from my grandma to go to her house and get my pop's masters. She, pretty much showed him where the masters were, however this occurred, and he left with the masters. My uncle, when my daddy got sick, my uncle placed the masters at my grandma's house.
Gotcha.
He wasn't aware that Snoop went to my grandma's house and got the masters. And I'm only repeating what my uncle is like riding on. Like, and when I say riding on, like, me and him just got into a big feud at Warren G's show recently, like in front of a lot of people. And it was like embarrassing almost. And I want to get this off because we ain't talked since. And this is something that I'm speaking on as to, you know, like shit that's affecting me on some like, man, this shit kind of whack, you know, like, cause I don't know what's what, but I'm just sharing what's out there and what's what I'm being told. And what Snoop has always told me is, you know, he don't got it and he don't know you, and he would never do something like that. But my thing is, it's like, I at least would want to know, like, you do got it and it's safe, maybe.
You don't really know where the masters are.
Nah. But I know that he said that he placed them there, and I don't believe he lying, you know?
We don't even know if Snoop got it or not.
Nah.
For all intents and purposes, everybody who I know that knows Snoop personally, they say Snoop is a really good guy. They say Snoop is a really, really, really nice guy. But those people ain't in business with Snoop. They're right, they homies. They say yo, Snoop has reached out to help. Snoop has done things, you know, that he didn't have to do. So I'm not about to sit here and tell you that people that I know have bad experience with Snoop. But what I can tell you is people that I know have said Snoop is a good guy. However, those people are not people who, you know, are under Snoop's label. But if you expect me to sit here and tell you that I believe that grandmama's lying, you have nothing coming. If you think I'm about to sit there and tell you, yeah, bro, grandmama just woke up one day to lie on Snoop, man, cut it out, man. Cut it out. Now, even when Ray J say, man, Snoop, I hope this is not true, you could tell by Ray J's tone and what he says is, like, Ray J believes this is true, and he's urging Snoop to make it right.
I love you, Snoop. Please respond to this because I'm not here to try to point the finger. But when Daz tells me something, Julian tells me something, and then there's like 20 other people that's telling me other things that are surprising. Because the last thing I thought that you would be is the new Suge Knight. Make it make sense, Snoop. Make it make sense right now. Cause I don't give a f. You know that. You my cousin. But don't ever think that you doing people wrong I'm not gonna let it slide. What are you gonna do to me? Exactly. Let's talk about it. Let's do a sit down and let's figure out, why do people say you're the new Suge? Why do people say that you're fucking them over all their money? Why do people say that you're the worst person in the world right now in LA? Why? When you're my cousin. Let's figure it out. I love you, Snoop. But I also love Daz. I also love Julie, and I also love all my Crip homies and all my blood homies. Don't represent Death Row if you're Suge Knight again. Unless that's what it is. If you Suge again, it's Death Row. I'm confused. Can you please make light of what we're going through right now on the West Coast? Snoop. My cousin, sincerely, Ray J.
I guess the only thing that's left is, what do y'all think? Do y'all believe this? Do y'all believe that Snoop Dogg is doing bad business? Or do you guys think that everybody is complaining and having, because again, this could be true. They could be having just too large of an expectation for Snoop, right? They could be just expecting too much from Snoop. But from everything you guys have heard, let me know. What do y'all think, man? Do y'all feel like Snoop Dogg is doing bad business? Is Ray J correct? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out how this racist YouTuber is having the worst day of his life, right? He got exposed badly, and we're loving it, okay? His fans is done with him. I'm going to see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen. And if you enjoy my content, please send me a hype by clicking the hype button below this video. Hypes is the best way to support me and how you push my videos in the algorithm. It's 100% free to send a hype, so please send me a hype. You get 3 hypes a week. I'm going to see you guys in this next video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.